There's going to be plenty of time for questions, and apparently plenty of people to ask those questions. So the woman over there has the microphone. I thought that I would let you know that every single cast member is so, and me especially, is so grateful that you guys watched the series, stuck with the series through the writer's strike, through the second season, the third season, the fourth season. I cannot tell you how happy I was to get the part, but then to fall into the family of fans, the sea of wonderful people that watched this. And yes, there were some people who were real jerks to me. You know, they just didn't. You know, the internet makes you very, very brave. You know, you can say whatever you want about the series, and you know, or whatever you want to talk about. You can say whatever you want. But 99.9% of the people were so nice and so supportive, and managed to walk a line between being fans of the show and the character, and being fans of the actors that played the parts in the show. I was just amazed at how wonderful you all were to us, and I cannot thank you enough for sticking with the show and watching the show. And those of you that are here, this is a very self-selected group, because you've not only watched the show, you've made it your business to come to this con and to come to this session, and probably the sessions tomorrow and Sunday, to meet Sendel and Adrian. But thank you so much for being that way, for doing that, and for helping my older daughter get into college. It's really nice that you did that. It really is. But really, thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause, please, because I know that, you know, there were several shows opposite us that were drawing your attention away. Thank God for the guy who invented TiVo. Hulu. Oh, really, Hulu? It was really funny because, you know, the internet has changed everything. The first episode I was in, which was, well, the first episode I shot. Once we shot the first episode, they called me back for others. I was supposed to die in that first episode. Claire was supposed to pick the gun up off the table and shoot me, not just hit me on the head with a chair leg. We'd shot 3 days for that first episode. It was July 7th, 8th, and 9th, 2008, not that I remember. And the morning of the 7th, which was a Monday, you can check it on your iPhones, the morning of the 7th, we shot the scene where I was having breakfast and dinner. By the way, the first episode was dinner, the second episode was breakfast. Draw what conclusions you may. Like I told you all night, Eric, you're disgusting. But you told me all night. Anyway, and then we also shot the dancing scene on stage where I was dancing with her, and then I hear something going on in the lobby. And again, my first job. My first time on a network television set. My first time dealing with a crew of 150 people. And I was just having the time of my life. And I would go back every so often to what's called the Video Village, which is where the writers and the producers and the director and the script supervisor who keeps track of everything sit and watch the shoot as it happens on monitors. And I would go back every so often and just say, am I giving you what you want? Is this what you want? Oh yeah, everything's great. And then around 11 o'clock, they left. The writers and the producer in charge of the writers, gone. Oh, okay. And about 5 o'clock, they came back. And Jeff Loeb, who was in charge of my character and the writers for these episodes, came over to me and said, yeah, we need to talk. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting fired from the first job I ever got on this awesome show. This is so stupid, what did I do? And he goes, we have some new sides for you for Wednesday, which was the day I was supposed to get shot. And I'm reading through the sides, the lines, and they're exactly the same, right up to the point when I'm supposed to get shot. And instead, what you saw happen, she picked up a leg of a chair that she had broken when she fell over after being shot, and whacks him across the head. And the writer in me is like, well, this doesn't have the same heat level as being shot in the back of the head. That was pretty awesome. I was like ready to practice my fall and, you know, be sort of understated in my death and, you know, all that stuff. And I said, so, and he goes, we love what you're doing and we don't want to get rid of you so fast. So it turns out that I ended up doing 13 episodes rather than the one that I was going to do. And they called me back to reshoot some scenes from the first episode that you guys saw that year when we were all escaping from prison. And there's a scene that you didn't get to see with me and Kristen Bell, where I was just so creepy. I was like virtually laying on top of her and sniffing her when she had gotten, zapped, and to the point where I was like a lizard-like with my tongue, and I'm glad you didn't see that. That's not the kind of scene that Kristen Bell is going to put on her demo reel. Some big fat white bald guy crawling all over her with his tongue out. That's not good. That's not good. So I go to London. This is talking about the internet is where this is all going. I go to London for MCM, which was like their DragonCon, Comic-Con over there at the Excel Center. 80,000 people. And my episode hasn't aired yet on BBC, 1, 2, or 3. And we're walking, Greg Grunberg and I, and Bria Grant, who played Daphne the Speedster, who's awesome, by the way, she's just great. And Andre Royo, who played the Black Hole guy, and a couple other people from the show. We're all over there. And we're walking along the causeway between our hotel and out onto the Thames, where this center is. It's actually on the water. You have to walk across this big gangplank to get there. And this crowd starts to gather. It's like a moving beehive of people that see us from Heroes, and they start to gather around and walk us to the Excel Center, because we don't have enough people walking us to the Excel Center. We need a cadre of fans to do this. And they're looking at me and they're going like that. And I'm like, how do they know? How do they know this? And how do they know it so well that they're like associating with me and like not making fun, but like, it's like a little homage to my character. And I had not yet been introduced to the level of torrenting that was going on with Heroes. I mean, I knew there was, I'd been a tech journalist for years. That's what I did before I was an actor. I was a radio guy, and I did tech journalism. And I was the one guy going, no. Napster, no. You're stealing stuff. Be careful. You're breaking the law here. There's going to be a judge who peers over her glasses at you and says, you shouldn't have done that, which is exactly what happened to the guys at Napster. But I was not prepared for how quickly the episodes would whip around the world, and everybody knew about it the moment it was aired in the United States. So that was just a shock that's how deeply the fans cared about the show and couldn't wait for their particular country's licensed network to air the series 6 months later. They were going to get it when they wanted it. And so I think in some small measure that kind of contributed to our demise, because if you look at the ratings graph, it went down, but it went up in terms of time delays, in terms of TiVoing and downloading off the net. So, but they were doing that, and it was that quickly, and it was just, the worldwide fans are just as evocative as the people here in the United States. So again, thank you, and to people who watch the show in Italy, grazie, France, merci, all that. So thank you very much. Is there anything I can answer for you?
I actually have a question.
About the show? Okay.
My question is that you got to act in one of the web series. And
I did, yeah.
I wanted to see how that was different than being on the set.
So I've acted in probably 50 web series over time. Everything from a series like Goodnight Burbank, which has been seen 18 million times each. All of their episodes aggregate close to 20 million views, where the shoot was uncomfortable. It was, bring your own food, bring your own water, wear your own clothes, do your own makeup. There'll be a camera somewhere that you can talk into, but other than that, you're on your own. To Heroes, where I was treated just as well. The production standards were as high as they were on the actual show itself. We shot that on Red. I don't know if those of you are familiar with cameras. Red is a all digital camera. You like that, sir? Good. Camera guy's going, love that camera. So we shot that on Red, whereas we shoot on film and video for the actual show. That was really the only difference. I mean, the sets were great. The way I got paid really well. But know that web series wasn't born of a budget that required ad support. Because if that was the case, there's every chance that it would have been far less comfortable, because the money just isn't there on the net yet for, income for shows like that. Although Heroes might have made some decent cash with that. It came out of the promotional budget instead. It was a way to keep fans apprised and give them more. To give them more. Tim was always about giving the fans more, which is great. I love that.